This is RT International. Russia's Admiral Gorshkov warship. Now, it's arrived in South Africa as the country hosts joint naval exercises with both China and Russia. Now, the Russian frigate carries the advanced Zircon hypersonic missiles, flying 9 times the speed of sound with a range of about 1,000 kilometers. The 10-day drills are called MOSI, taking place in the Indian Ocean. Now, South Africa has reported that 350 members of its armed forces will take part. The enhanced cooperation of the 3 BRICS countries, though, already sparking concerns and kicking off alarm bells in the West.
I have to say that this coincidence between the starting of the war and these military drills, for us, is something that is not the best thing that we would have preferred.
We have, the United States has concerns about any country, as we've said before, country exercising with Russia while Russia wages a brutal war against Ukraine. We've said this before. We've been consistent on this. Of course, every participating country will make their own decision. But again, we have said this before, we do have concerns.
Let's learn more here on the program now. Crossing live to South African geopolitical analyst Joe Msanga joining us here at RT International. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Thanks for joining us here on the program. Well, what are your thoughts on the military drills that have started today involving China, South Africa and Russia? Is it a significant bout of exercises, do you think?
It was about time. I mean, we have BRICS agreements with BRICS countries that are coming together. It's a beautiful thing to have the big brothers, China and Russia, to come to assist South African military guys, to show them how certain things should be done at an international level. So we are not surprised about the noise that will come from the West, So it is a good move. It's something that it's welcomed in Africa as a whole to finally have Russia and China to come to the South African shores to assist and to help our military guys with the war games that are happening. So it is a positive.
It's positive, and it looks good, doesn't it? I mean, it looks good. I know a lot of countries in the world are zeroing in on the African continent, but to see this level of cooperation suggesting strategic security and those kinds of implications, it should be seen as a positive move. But Joe, we're witnessing some so-called advice from European and Western officials that South Africa should not be holding these drills with Russia. Why do you think the West is so concerned over South Africa cooperating with countries like Russia and China?
There's still the mentality from the West to look at South Africa as their satellite. We have seen this behavior. When the ship arrived in Cape Town, there was a big noise that some of the opposition parties of South Africa, whom are funded from the West, whom are taking instructions from the West. So it's nothing new to see such. And South Africa, the Western countries want to look at South Africa as their satellite station. They still want to have the imperialistic mentality to be thrown into South Africa. And meanwhile, South Africa is a sovereign state. It's an independent country on its own. So it can't take instructions from New York or London or somewhere in Brussels. So it's unfortunate that that kind of behavior, we've witnessed it in many, many cases. Blinken was here in South Africa to try and pursue South Africa to do away with the relationship with Moscow. And unfortunately, did not get what he came for. So we are not surprised. I mean, there's bags of money, there's military hardware that they've been pumping into Ukraine. South Africa has never commented or see anything. But why, when? Not even anything except to sharpen the skills of South African military. Why does the West doesn't want South Africa to increase their skills in militarily in terms of their security? What is it that they want? They want South Africa to remain weak. They want Africa to remain weak so it can rely on the West. It's unacceptable.
Well, as you said, Joe, you know, it was just the other day that the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was touring many countries in Africa. Essentially, it was a carrot and stick exercise, but there was really no carrots involved. It was a stick exercise where she was telling African countries to cut off ties with Russia and comply with Western sanctions. Joe, is there a risk now of the West imposing sanctions on countries, for example, in Africa, who do not follow their anti-Russian agenda?
We have seen some countries have been directly threatened. If you cut off Russia and China and you're good with us, if you continue to deal with them, you'll see what happens. So there is a risk, but they are ignoring the fact that there is a cooperation in place called BRICS. BRICS has accommodated militarily, education, economic, finance. These are all the things that are there. When they sent the treasury lady here, was to try and say, if you cut off Russia, this is how much money you're going to get. But if if any country agrees to that kind of money, you're selling your soul to the evil of the West. So it's not winning. It's not going to win in any way. Hence, I said, Rod, it is happening in Ukraine. Monies are being pumped. Who says what? CNN and all the other television channels are not blacked out like RT. So the war is with Russia by any means necessary. And South Africa will continue to work with Russia. It's not today. It's a 50+ years cooperation between South Africa and Russia. It's not something that is new. So Russia and China are welcome in the shores of South Africa to come and assist our military to increase the security skills. It's much needed in Africa right now.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good to get your opinion on this. Joe Msanga, a geopolitical analyst, joining us here live on RT International. Appreciate your time and really appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Thank you.